And the other one I hear of all the time is, oh yeah, I didn't attach my board to the roof rack properly and it came
Oh,
off.
mental, babe. Just don't use roof racks. That's a don't. Do not use roof racks. Put it in your
No,
car.
welcome back to the Insiders podcast. We're back with you again. My name's Matt, usually here with Darren. Darren should have been on this poddy, and we've got a little disaster story to tell you about before we jump into what we've called the podcast saved by a CT surfer. Myself and Darren were sat down Monday night ready to talk about Chopu when he was hit with technical difficulties and basically sounded like he got attacked by a robot. Due to that, our podcast got completely written off. So he had some amazing insights and a really good inside story on the reason the French competition got canned, which we will bring to you. But tonight, you're hearing myself chat with Logan Nicol, who is a hero and stepped in last minute. Wealth of knowledge and such a legend. Myself and Logan sat down, and we had a much better connection on the technical side of things. So the podcast sounds a lot better and doesn't sound like Darren's been attacked by a robot. Yeah, it was great to chat with Logan. I had been contacted by a local South Coast company and got to sample some of their t-shirts, Lazy Monday t-shirts, and they're incredible. So I was chatting to Logan about those, and then he said he'd jump on a poddy. That being said, if you do want 10% off of those, give us a shout. The Insiders 10 on their website will work. But yeah, here's me and Logan talking about Chopes, and Darren will be back once the robot has started attacking him. Hope you enjoy. Oh,
How are
mate,
you, mate?
good yourself.
Yeah, good, mate. I've been watching. Congrats on obviously getting married and that, and
Cheers, guys.
honeymoon looked pretty sick.
Yeah, that was sick. That was Costa Rica, but no surf. But it was still good. And then,
Yeah,
mate, I burnt all my holiday. Like done 2 week Costa Rica, and then I was back for a week, and then went to France for a week, which was sick
sick.
surf. And now I've got no holiday for ages.
Was that like a little bit work, France, or not?
Nah, nah. It was just it was actually I promised last year. I promised my mum I'd take her on holiday,
Right.
and we booked it, and then just coincided that my wedding was like 3 weeks before, and then my honeymoon was for 2 weeks. So, uh, yeah. So I just took my mum down there, but she just sat on the beach, and I just surfed.
Oh, it's all right.
Yeah.
I'm off to France Sunday.
Oh, sick. Yeah.
Just booked it today.
There's some swell because there's a big storm hitting. Um,
Yeah, like tomorrow, I think.
yeah. But then I think there's some actual good surf going to be after that. So
Yeah,
that'd be
next week
sick.
looks like it could be good. Like it's Anglet is
Yeah.
where I'll be. So I've
Yeah.
never been, but should be sick.
Oh yeah, sick. Yes, that's on the same coast. That hospital is like 20 minutes above it and stuff. So
Is it? So I've been to Hossegor. I've just never been like Beirut. Like I've been to Hossegor quite a few times, but never been like Beirut's area. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? South of
yes.
France, sort of proper.
Biarritz is like 25 minutes south of Hossegor.
Ah, okay. I never knew it was that
Yeah,
close. See, I'm just an
yeah.
idiot. Don't look at maps, but
No, I was the same. First time I went, and then second time I went, I then drove from Hossegor to Biarritz, and then drove from Hossegor to San Sebastian.
right. Okay, yeah.
Because
North Spain.
San Sebastian's only 40-minute drive from you as
It's
well.
because you can see the like
Yeah,
Spanish mountain. You can see the mountains, can't you, from like Hoss and that. So
yeah. No, yes, I love it down there. I
I'm, I'm
go
far from
like so much. So yeah, no, that'll be sick.
it.
But yeah, me and Daz had a disaster. We recorded the episode last night, but
Yeah.
his internet was just all over the shop, and I listened back to it tonight, and he just sounds like he's got a robot over him, and it's just
Oh, nightmare.
broken. And I was like, oh shit. And then, but he's like, it's full on for him at this time of year because he runs the surf camp and the coffee shop and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just said to him, oh, don't panic. And then I messaged you and was like, see if you could just do a flash little
Yeah.
body.
Super keen, mate. always love chatting shit about surfing. I actually haven't like been as like into like the whole fantasy surfer thing like the last few comps, so it's nice to like I had a little flick through and like a look.
Yeah,
So no,
that's what I was
I've
gonna.
obviously been doing it, but not like paying proper attention.
I was
So
gonna ask you that because there's a few people I've spoken to who like decent level, like kind of like same level as you in terms of like doing the regional series and the qualifying and stuff. And I asked them about events or like free surfing and like clips because I watched like everything,
no, yeah.
and they're like, "No, I don't watch it. I barely watch that." Like kind of thing. And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Shit," but
I'm a pretty big fan. Like, I mean, there's some free surfing that like I just don't relate to. Like, I'm just not that kind of like. So for me, like Noah Dean, Creed McTaggart, I like their surfing. I just don't
yeah,
watch those kind of clips as much, like the rage, that
yeah,
sort of thing. It just doesn't. I don't relate as much to like that stuff. I know they surf absolutely sick. I like seeing Instagram clips, but like the full long edits, I don't watch as much unless it's like a CT guy like Griffin's edit DNA. So like that stuff I
yeah,
watch. But then I'm like I watch every comp.
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
make sure I watch it. You know, so I still watch. I just haven't been like as invested. There's been so many QSs like I love the Challenger series and like obviously
yeah,
that's my goal. That's my goal is to make it. I'm a fan too of like the sport. So
yeah. Do you think
I
the
watch it all.
do you think the Noah Dean thing and not being as interested in that is a bit to do with the way they edit and the music they use and stuff like that as well? Because it's a
Yeah,
bit like it's properly in your face.
yeah, for sure. And like I don't know, like I just don't live the same lifestyle as them either. Like,
Yeah, I
so I
get
mean,
that.
I know they don't really like contests or like they
Yeah,
just guzzling beers all the time. And for me, I'm like, oh, okay, guys, I just watch Medina or something like that.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
No,
it's just
that's
interesting.
that's really interesting because like yeah, for me like I love the comps and stuff, but then and I do like Noah Dean stuff and like Sean Manners and Creed and all of
Yeah,
those
they're
guys.
ridiculous. Like their clips are just insane. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then I would pick to watch like Tora Martin or Craig Anderson or something like
Yeah,
that because again like there's the comp stuff that I love to watch and then there's the Noah Dean stuff and the hardcore stuff that I love to watch. But like the maybe the for me I prefer the middle where there's a little bit of story behind it and it's not
so
just pure surf.
yeah, 100%. I'm the so like it's pretty funny, but I'll watch you like on surf.
Yeah, yeah,
I watch them all the time. Even if it's like a beginner thing, I'll just click on it because I like hearing someone
yeah,
talk. I like hearing like, or even like a board review. I'll just watch a board review on like a no brainer. I'm never gonna buy a no brainer, but I just like watching.
yeah,
I
yeah.
like nerding out and stuff and like learn. I like if I can learn something from something,
That's
or like if
cool.
I'm watching surf and I'm often watching like technique or I'm always trying
Mm,
to get something out of it. So that's kind of maybe that's why. But then also like I do like watching just sick surfing as well. So
yeah,
bit of a
that's
mix
funny
for
you say
me.
that because like I because we I speak to Alan Stokes quite a bit and
Mm,
every time I speak to him, I'm like just full on like picking his brains and stuff.
yeah,
And
yeah,
the last time I spoke to him, I was just talking about how because I had this ASIM arrive and I said like it helped my bottom turn. And I was like, I don't know really know why, but I just feel like I get a much better bottom turn on this. And then he was like, well, do you still move your back foot on the bottom turn to there? And I was like, no, does anyone do that? Like kind of thing.
right, yeah.
And he was like, yeah, everyone. And I in my head when he was saying it, I was like, I've never ever seen anyone move their foot. Like you're talking nut. You're like what you talk about, and then now all I can see when I
It's
watch
people
like
moving.
that back foot, and I'm like, oh fuck, like
It's just like it's like when someone buys a new like or you get a new car and then you see that car everywhere.
yeah,
Happens to me like the same. Like I was actually I had a meal with Alan last week at Boardmasters. We were at like
yeah,
this thing, and I do the same with him because he's a wealth of knowledge. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I'm a bit of a fan. Like, I literally watched him
yeah,
do a board review on the flow fish this
yeah,
morning. I
yeah.
watched it. I don't know why. Just I'm never gonna buy one. Or,
I
just
love
wanted
him.
to watch it. So
He's
I
just
like him. Peter
he's
Pan,
like
isn't
yeah, I call him the human puppy. I think he's just like he's literally like a puppy. He
he?
comes into the office and my dog's in the office and my dog's the biggest idiot in the world, but he just bounces around and he's constantly happy. And him and Alan just look like the same thing. There's like the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
things going on in their head. But
Yeah, that's funny as.
and then he just drops like some knowledge about surfing, and you're just like,
Oh yeah, yeah, you are really
but yeah,
knowledgeable.
no. So that's sick. I wondered because I obviously asked you to chat about Tahiti, which we'll go into in a sec, and then I was like, well, I've asked, and I don't even know if you're even like
Nah,
into it. So
big into it,
sweet.
but like there's definitely certain comps that like anyone I pay
Yeah,
more attention to than others, or like I don't know why. Sometimes the time zone and stuff, and if I can watch it live, or like often like relatable conditions, I like watching.
yeah,
So even if it's bad waves, like I kind of prefer that. So sometimes like when pipe is like if it's pumping, like the last pipe run event, I couldn't keep my eyes off it. Do you know what I mean? Like Kelly
yeah.
won,
Same.
it was amazing. But like sometimes with Tahiti, I'm not. It's not the comp. People love Tahiti, but for me, I was like, oh, I don't really surf like massive barreling lefts all the time, so I like didn't get as interested. And obviously, you get like a 2014 swell stuff like that. It is
Yeah,
really interesting. But yeah, some events I'm more in tune with than others. You know?
yeah. No, I'm the same. I'm a bit the same with like even sometimes it's not relatable, but the waves that I just mind surf as well. Like
Yeah, Mexico. Yeah.
yeah, J Bay is my favorite event, and
Hmm.
it's because it's just a long right hander. Just
Yeah,
pay money for that.
everyone can relate to that, can't they? They just want to. You want to surf J-Bay, don't
And Chope scared the shit out of me. I'd go nowhere near
you?
it, nowhere near it. Like how
Yeah.
thick that barrel, like the lip. And people say it's a bit easier than pipes because it's a bit more
I've heard
predictable.
that as I got a mate who's been and he said he's like, oh, it is all right, like but it's just having the minerals to go and
Yeah, but no, I
don't have the
wouldn't.
balls. You would go.
I'd be pulling up like faking an injury or something the next morning, like that morning.
Yeah, doing a Felipe like.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, my shoulder's gone.
Yeah, my ankle.
Yeah. Talking about that then. So jumping in when you see it, and obviously that it's on hold at the moment, but I think tomorrow and the next day it's meant to actually like get real kind of cooking.
Yeah, just
Who
gonna
you
pull up the who's in. I'm just gonna pull up the just so I can look.
who you got because it's actually while you put it up, something that me and Darren have spoke about that would make it is this is the first event I think since it's happened where I really miss John and Gabby in the mix
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
because if those
Yeah,
two are going hammer and tongue out there, just
yeah, you miss those guys like Owen as well. Like there's the
yeah,
guys that you remember that are just like a specialist. Then you're like they're guaranteed a quarters. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, definitely,
But at the same time, like it probably allow someone who you didn't expect to do. They'll definitely be in this comp. I've got a funny feeling there'll be a person you didn't expect to be in the final in the final.
yeah,
There'll be one person, either Jack or Kelly, will be in the final, and then they'll have someone who's just because there's a lot of weird names and there's a lot of weird heats like
yeah,
knocking about. Like there's like Nat Young. It's like, oh, you could do it. Do you know what I mean? Like
definitely. I was talking about Nat Young
same
today
with the
to
women.
yeah, the women. If we look at the women, I think if it pumps and they run them in the right conditions, I really see the pipeline kind of times
Yes.
like happening again because Vahine is a freak out there. She's the local, and when Moana was surfing pipe, you could just tell, even if like someone she was surfing but against got a good wave, it was just different levels.
She
And
she wanted to be barreled. It was one of those things where
yeah,
like,
yeah,
and I think at Chopu, like you said, like it is apparently an easier wave than pipe. So it is going to be more about like the minerals. Do you have the minerals to go?
mm,
And it's going to be especially from the women because they're not as used. They haven't been out. This is like their first year for like ages, isn't it? Since they've
yeah,
surfed there.
16
So
years or something. Yeah,
right, so like they haven't had competition experience. So it is going to be if it's big as well, which it seems like they're waiting for because they've been putting it on hold for ages. Who's got the minerals to go? And I think it is going to be those girls that did well at pipe.
yeah,
Your Carissa's, your Tyler's did well there before, didn't she?
yeah. And Tyler, like she's done it. I remember in Fiji, she goes nuts. And
Yes, true. Yeah, yeah, I forgot about that.
little sleeper on. She's not really a sleeper, but on the women, Caroline Marks is one of the only women I know
Yeah,
who's done free surfing event. She's gone out there for
yeah,
free surf. She could, she's got no pressure as well. She could really she could hurt some people in terms
yeah.
of qualification, which I think would be
Oh,
pretty sick. But yeah, the only thing with Vahine is she's got she's going to have to serve against the best people every time.
Yes, and like that Gabrielle O'Brien's class, but like there's like, is it Brista Hennessy? She like lives in Fiji basically.
Yeah,
You're like,
she's
so
Cloudberry. Yeah,
she's like, yeah, so she's gonna be like class. Like she'll understand the big barreling waves. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
with the women, it's just like who's like looking at the heat now. She got Stephanie and Isabella. Isabella's obviously no slouch, but I just think the ones that are used to it and comfortable in those waves, like
yeah.
they're gonna do better. Do you know what I
Isabella and Steph are very much similar. Like put them in a right hand point break, and they're going to be very
mean?
hard to
Yeah,
beat. But
yeah.
they've not. They wouldn't choose to go to a left hand. They wouldn't even choose
No,
to go to a left hand
to go
like
left.
point. Yeah, point. Let
Yeah,
alone
yeah,
the women. The women's heat that like lights me up is heat three though, because
yeah. Joanne, Tyler, Caroline.
Caroline,
That's
that's
hell
just
of a heat.
stacked, and
Mm,
I reckon that's going to go nuts because all three of them, like Joanne, grew up Reunion Island, won G
yeah,
Land, like
yeah.
she's it. Tyler fully sends it, and Caroline we just spoke about, and she's goofy. She could go like ballistic out there.
I reckon Caroline will do well.
Yeah, and then like men's, like we again, me and Darren like kind of covered it, but it broke. Is we was talking about the fact the call to put Nathan Hedge in the hog.
Ah, so cool, mate. I'm like
Yeah,
big fan of the hog, just like mindset wise, and like
same.
like I've heard like I've listened to a podcast of him like talking about his story and like he went to rehab. You know what I mean? Like it was
Yeah,
pretty hectic, like everything he did, and then for him to like come back and like the WSL posted a video of him I think it was pre-COVID or maybe in COVID. He was like tearing Snapper apart. He did like three or
yeah,
four. Like I sent it to the boys like in the group chat. I was like, that is world class backhand surfing. Like he's still so good.
yeah,
And obviously he's no slouch. Well, he's probably nowadays better in like a tubing wave. So
I
and
think
it's what a heat as well. What a heat.
yeah, and I heard like with him, the thing which struck me with him is when they called Mick back to Bells, I felt like it was cool and stuff, but Mick hadn't really been surfing down there, he hadn't really prepared for it, and
Yeah,
it was just like it is what it is.
he was
But
surfing 20s and stuff. And yeah,
yeah, but the Hog got told about 3 months ago that he's next in line for the sponsor.
right.
He flew straight to Fiji. He's been in Cloudbreak. He then went to Kandui. He's been going left. He's taken
Yeah.
it. He's properly taken this seriously. He wants to do some damage, and I think I genuinely think he could. He's
Well, and also like he got 12th on the Challenger Series in Oz.
yeah,
Like that's not that's hard. Like that's not easy.
yeah,
He was in Challengers events. He didn't do amazing in them, but like he's surfing at a high enough level that in Australia, probably one of the hardest regions, he basically qualified. They give him the wildcard spot. He's in every challenger. Like it's
yeah,
pretty impressive. So he's no slouch and he's sharp. He's in my team. I
yeah.
put him in my team. Just legacy. Why not?
He's and his. I mean, the thing as well is you look at his first round heat, and he's got Kelly and Felipe, and I would be putting if I wouldn't put any money on Felipe making it out of
Nah,
that heat.
nah, not at all.
I think that those two, I think him and Kelly and the Hog are going to look at Felipe and probably be like, we're gonna destroy you.
And the problem with Philippe is like he's got not much motivation to. He's not fifth on the
No,
ratings. He's not sixth. He doesn't need to do well here. Like he's
worst
not
case,
got that
he's
like
gonna
that hunger to like you know
yeah,
pull something out the bag. He doesn't need to. Whereas Kelly just wants to do it because he's class and back. He will do it. And
yeah.
the Hog, feels like he's got something to prove. So I'm with you there. I can't see there being a crazy performance from Philippe. But
Nah,
maybe.
he's no. Worst case, he's going to finish second, and I don't even. I think that might even be better for him the way he surfs and the way he warms up for events.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
I think that. But the men's, like you say, in with the absence of like Owen Wright and John Medina,
Mm.
even like people like Ace Buchan used to absolutely like.
Yeah.
He was like walk up start to a semi final every time, and Julian Wilson was decent. I look at this year and I'm seeing like I'm excited for it because I'm seeing Barramamia should go
Mm-hmm.
sick. Seth
Yeah.
Moniz went sick at pipe. Another wild card, Cali Vast.
Yeah, Cowley can be
Absolute
really good,
mental.
especially if it's pumping. Yeah.
He's a hell man, and is pretty much a local. And I'm like, do you know what? You could see a semi-final of, like, I agree that Kelly's going to be there and Jack Robinson's probably going to be there, but you could see like Jack, Kelly versus the Hog or whatever. Like, and you're like, that's sick.
Yeah, there's also those like kind of like get the job done guys, like a Miggy Pupo. You know, he
Yeah.
seems to be able to pull out the bag, same as like McGilvery, like Matt McGilvery. He'll just do it. Like he will
Yeah.
go. So like there's guys like that. Same Conor O'Leary, he could do well. Do you know what I mean? Like
Connor's the definite dark horse.
Yeah, I think so. Like I rate Conor in, obviously he's known for his backhand, isn't he? But like
Yeah,
he's pretty like he got second in Fiji. Like he's pretty. He did he get semi-final finish in what was that last hander? G-Land, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's class going for him. So
and he sent it a pipe. And
yeah.
the other guy who no doubt will do really good is Kyle Belly.
Mate, he's on my team too. Yeah.
He's mental. Like,
yeah. Third at pipe, wasn't it? Was it third? Yeah.
Yeah.
Third at pipes, yeah.
Yeah, but I know he got, because I'm like, I swear he always comes against the person I want to do well. And he beats him. I'm like, how have you just done that? But
he's so good.
Heaps of respect for him. But
yeah, no, I'm big Kyle fan, especially this year.
So do you see anyone, say men's side, top 5 at the moment is obviously Philippe, Jack, Ethan, Italo, Griff. Do you see anyone changing movement or?
No, because I think Griff is better than Kanoa in tubes. And that's between them two. And like maybe Callum Robson, he's got something in him. Like he has got something in him. They're like, let's say he gets on the tear. Like that would be like the like more considered like the wonder story. Like,
yeah,
okay, someone's pulled out the bag. But like, I just rate Griffin so highly in like ways of consequence. And like mindset wise, like I think he'll do it. Unless he has a complete melt, but I can't see it. I think Griff will just be able to get it done.
My heart wants Griff to get it done. My heart, ideally, for me, it's a Griff Callum Robson final and Italo as a mayor. And
yeah, you know, I kind of wouldn't mind not seeing Italo in the top 5. I don't really like this. I'd rather have Kanoa in the top 5 over Italo. I think Kanoa would it'd be so good at trestles with Kanoa, Griffin, and
I think most people that listen to this kind of regularly know that I don't really rate Italo too much.
No, I'm not like his biggest aerials. You can't say he's no good at airs, but like otherwise, like I just think he's a bit of he like cheats a bit on his backhand and he and like
just and front side.
He's round and he's very round surfer.
Horizontal,
Which Medina is, but Medina's got some X factor to him that you can't deny. Like it's Medina, but with Italo, I always remember being like you're not that like he turns on that like dynamic, wow, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. But he gets the job done, doesn't he?
But yeah, so I would love, like I say, my heart wants Griff to do really well because I really want to see him at trestles, and I think I like his mindset and I like how he does things differently. Yeah. But my head says that Kanoa's a walk up quarter finalist just because of how consistent he is.
Yeah, he's good. He is good.
And then I think if it depends on how they win their heats and stuff, but there's a huge chance that they face each other in the quarters.
Is there?
Yeah, I mean, I think if they win their heats, if they both like finish first, and then go through, and the seeding goes right.
But you've proper looked at the seeds. That's cool.
But it's too hard to predict because if one of them finishes second, and depends who beats them, it all changes. But it would be sick to see like a mini surf off.
Just to go, one of you is going to have a shot at world title, one of you is going to have to wait till next year. That'd be cool. Finishing
6th must be just so like, must be like being a Tottenham fan, just savage. But what about women? Because obviously at the moment it's Carissa, Joanne.
I don't even know the women's top 5.
Yes.
I rate Joanne so high.
Yeah, same.
I really rate
Joanne. Her stats. she's not missed a quarterfinal or better the whole year.
That's class.
But yeah, it's Carissa, Joanne, Tahati, Steph, Britta at the moment, and then 6th is Lakey and 7th's Tyler.
Yes. I actually rate Lakey very high. I think it's a shame that it's Tahiti for this event.
Yeah.
Because I don't think she's going to do very well. But I would love to see her at Trestles.
Me too.
That would be pretty cool. There's not much in it between her and Brissa. That's kind of like a couple heats ahead of her. If she can finish a few heats ahead of Brissa.
Yeah. The only problem is Lakey's about as good at going left on a tubing wave as
as you
me.
are.
Yeah. And I worry that's the really hard bit for Lakey is if you don't do this at Chokes, or if she just done some like a tiny bit better on an earlier event, then she's probably safe. But
yeah.
Leave
it to those last minutes, can you?
I can easily see Steph falling out and Tyler jumping, but it would have to be a big jump.
That's a hell of a jump, that is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points.
Steph's got just that little bit. I think she only has to make 2 heats and she's kind of safe. But
Steph needs, Tyler needs like a magic. You know, like the Tyler comps where she just does really well. She just batters everyone. She needs one of them.
I think she needs one of those with Steph or Brisa to basically lose second round.
Yeah, to be just
which
gone.
Could, especially at Chokes, that could happen because, like, you do it.
I can see. I honestly, I think Steph will be out first round.
Could easily happen. The only thing I think she's got an advantage with is that she's also got Isabella in that heat, and she just doesn't need to finish last.
yeah. But isn't it bottom 2 go to the round 2 or not?
Yeah, but she should get a better seed. But then that might work against her as well because she might then get someone like Courtney Conlog or it could well be Steph Lakey in round 2.
It's pretty hectic. And then it's hectic the format too. With just like it's basically like it's like a 4-man quarterfinal of the women's, isn't it? It's kind of like small field. It makes it all just like whoa. It's down to the wire straight away.
I really hope. I don't think they will because I just think they're too shitty with it. But next year they should add at least 6 more women to the start of the tour, and then with the cut they should have more.
Yeah, for sure.
Like people got was it Malia Manuel got cut this year, and she didn't not make.
Oh, ridiculous!
It was something crazy. Like she made almost every quarterfinal of the first 5 events.
Second at pipe. It's like if you're making a final, you shouldn't be off tour.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like you're good enough to be there. I just think it's ridiculous.
But yeah. So that's a bit of a wrap up on Chopes. So who do you?
I was gonna say who's going to win? Tell me who's going to win for the men. Who's going to win for the women? Put your neck on the line now.
Neck on the line. Goat's going to win and retire on the boat.
I can see that happening.
That's what
it would make me upset, but I can see it.
It'd make me happy and upset.
Do you not like him on tour?
I love him.
Okay, yeah.
I do want him to retire.
Do you?
Yeah. Well, I want him to retire, and then I want him to just do. He should get a wild card to whatever he wants, but he should get.
Yeah.
He should just do pipe and chopes every year, and that's it.
So my worry, right, if he doesn't retire, that would be. I'm thinking that now would be good because I worry if he doesn't retire, you've got 5 events to requalify for the tour next year.
Yeah.
And if he has a shocker at pipe, he's like, I don't know if he would have requalified. Let's say he had a shocker at pipe this year, like what he had a quarterfinals at Portugal, I think I remember. And that was kind of it. Like imagine he drops off tour because he doesn't qualify. That would be not a good way to go out. So
yeah, I agree. You want it
like
to be
I would be gutted if you want it to be his call. It would be. Remember how horrible it was seeing Owen fall off at Margaret's? It was like, oh my god, like, and that was Owen. Imagine the greatest of all time. Like you can't see him go out like that. So
yeah, if Kelly, because that's the thing is if he wins pipe, because there's the flip side of that is if he wins pipe or if he finals at pipe and then gets a medium result in any of the other 4 events, he's going to get on the back half of the tour every year, and then he's going to be there until he's like 100
forever. Yeah.
But so I reckon Kelly's going to win the men.
Good call.
And I reckon I'm gonna go Caroline.
Okay.
I want to say Vaheen, but I'm gonna go Caroline. What about you?
Okay. Let me give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to just say Jack or Kelly, even though Jack's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what? I'm gonna put it out there. I think Griffin might win.
I'd love that.
If it's not like ridiculously thick, scary, even though he'd be great in that, I think if it's like 6 to 8 foot,
yeah,
which it could be, I think Griff. I would like Griff. I'm just gonna say that because I think it'll be Kelly or Jack, but
I like it.
My call is Griff, and then the women's, I've got a feeling Carissa.
Okay.
We haven't really spoken about her, but she's good. Like, you know, she'll send it. What she'll do, she'll just do better than her opponent. It's not like she'll have the craziest way with the comp, but whatever her opponent does, she won't sit not as deep as them. She won't let them get the better of her. She will just do better, and I could see her just making her heats all the time. I can't see her losing a heat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think. Do you know what's really strange is she's number 1 in the world. Arguably, even though I'm the biggest fan of Steph, she's probably going to be the most winning female surfer of all time. She'll
100%, she'll get more world titles. Yeah.
And it's funny how when you said you think Carissa will win, I was almost like, oh, she's a bit of a dark horse. And she's like,
she's world number 1.
Been the world number 1 for about 14 years. And
it's funny.
But yeah, do you know what? She is actually underrated as well, because she does go and send it, and she's probably the second best at pipe to Moana, or has been. I mean, she finaled in the 2. She finaled obviously last year and the year before when it moved over. So I see. And then while we're on it, because I won't take up too much of your time, if the final 5 go as you think and it's going to stay, who do you reckon's winning it?
Sad, isn't it? Because I won. So there's 2 people I want to win. Okay. I want Philippe to win because it's the moral. He's the moral winner. He's the winner, isn't he? The winner should win, and he's the winner. But kind of want to see Ethan I want to see Ethan make the final. I want to see Ethan beat Jack, make the final, and then Philippe win. That's what I want to happen. I don't want Jack to get anywhere near winning. But I just got a weird gripe about Jack. I don't know what it is.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I love him. I'm like that. How are you so clutch and so good? But I just prefer Ethan and Philippe. I just think I'd rather see them surf against each other. But then Jack Philippe would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Imagine if Philippe finishes second though, and you get a Ethan Jack final, Australians as well.
Yeah, that would be good. It's kind of like it'd be similar to Ethan Philippe, because you're kind of getting like Philippe's not going to try and do stylish carves against Ethan. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? He's going to go right. I'm going to do air. So
I agree with you. I want Felipe to win it for the fact that he has been the best surfer on tour this year, and also I don't know anyone who can't praise him for like the part he played in Make or Break, where he just opened up about his mental health and stuff.
No, for sure.
Women.
I really want Tahati.
Really?
Got a bit of a soft spot for Tahati, and I do like she's a bit of a. That's another one who do well in tropes is Tahati, but like.
I like her because she is there to compete.
Oh, she doesn't care. She's like, I'm gonna beat you. I like that about her, so I wouldn't mind seeing her at least make the final again. But Joanne as well. I like Joanne too.
I can see Tahati finishing second in the world after Chopes, and really, I think she's the one person who doesn't get intimidated by Carissa. So
yes, yeah.
But on the flip, I would love if Griff makes it.
To see him have a run, a good run.
If he finishes fifth, he's the one person, because he surfs there so much. He's the one person I reckon could go like fifth to second.
Yes.
And and yeah, Griff at decent trestles would be difficult to beat.
Yeah, with the women, I'm less offended at who wins. So I'm less offended or like pissed off
Yeah,
if Carissa doesn't win. Like Carissa's got world titles. We know she'll do it again. Like, but with Philippe, he hasn't won a world title. If he doesn't win one this year, he's broken. He's like
I agree.
he
And
won't come. It will just ruin him. I think so. I don't
yeah,
know.
I agree. And the other point with the women as well is that what are we? What was it? It was 8 events in, had 8 different winners.
Right, it was a diverse field. That was it. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Whereas Philippe won. It was literally like every event. It was like Philippe was either first or second.
Yeah,
And obviously,
Jack or Griff, wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah, Griffin won 2, but then has had some shockers. Jack had a bit of a slow start, and then like
Yes.
he went back to back and stuff, and finaled, which is cool. And I love Jack, and I think seeing him second in the world is mental. But
No, it's good.
but for sure, no one could argue that the best male surfer on tour this year has been Felipe.
Yeah.
And I wish the WSL would change it as well, and that they would crown a world champion, and then still have the finals day, and have 2. Like I've said it before, there's a golf to it. Like you get the tour champion, and then you get the final event champion.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I agree. But like we all know, well, the thing is, you look
yes,
back in years' time, and all you look at is the world title, which is like it would suck for Philippe to never have his name on the world title trophy. But like for us this year, like we know everyone would feel like Philippe got a bit wrong. Do you know what I mean? If he didn't,
definitely.
and he could melt. He does have the odd chocker, he doesn't like too much pressure, and if he thinks the judges are against him or whatever, like he doesn't like it. So maybe he will.
Yeah,
I don't know.
if someone starts to get under his skin, but yeah, man. What about because we always do do's and don'ts. Do you have any do's and don'ts for people out there?
I've heard this segment. I remember thinking about it when I first heard it, and I had a good one. Oh, give me a second to think.
I'll roll with mine quick.
You do yours, and I'll
Yeah.
I'll
So
think.
I'll do both of mine. I went to the wave on Sunday, and it was 33 degrees and just
Nice.
ridiculous. So a do is just hydrate, people. Just have a bit of water before, have a bit of water after. I would have paid some good money to have a bit of water halfway through. So yeah, hydrate yourself, and don't, because again at the wave I just heard too many people talking about it. When you're getting the next board, or when you're thinking of what board to buy, don't just talk about volume. Look at what the board's for.
Yeah.
Because you could get yourself in some trouble. So they're mine.
They're good ones, man. I get people. So I work at a surf school, and people will come up, and they'll maybe have ridden like a foamy before, so then they'll go, right, have you got anything that's 86 liters?
Yeah.
Like,
you're preaching
no.
you're talking to the worst person in the country to talk to that about, because that literally daily.
I like liters. I'm not a super volume hater, because like I fixate a little bit on volume, but like sometimes when people ask that, I go, yeah, I got this one here, mate.
Yeah.
I just go, yeah, there you go.
It is a great.
Doesn't really matter.
It's a guide, but there's just a lot more that goes into a surfboard.
It's where your volume is, isn't it? It's like, oh, well, you want
Yeah.
a 28, you want a 28 meter longboard? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's not that it's going to feel totally different, isn't it? Like your liters and
Exactly.
yeah, good one that is.
I've got like a 5.7 foamy that's 43 liters, and then I'm literally sitting next to a 6.10 here that's less. So
yes,
there's a clear, but one's definitely still going to paddle better than the other.
for sure. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So they're my do's and don'ts. What have you got? Being a surf school coach.
Yeah, I've actually got. Well, there's plenty of do's and don'ts people should know, but my do is something that gets frowned upon a lot, but I'm going to say do it because I think it's cool. Your Noah Deans and your Creed McTaggarts might not think it's cool, but do have a stretch before you surf. Have a limber up.
Okay.
Do a little warm up, because I always say if you don't, your first wave ain't going to be a good one. You never have it. You're always a little bit stiff, so have a limber up, warm up, however you want to do it. Don't be ashamed.
Yeah, I like that. There's an article on Stab written by Paul Evans,
You've
who's
read it, mate. Yeah, I read it.
it's hilarious.
It's wicked, mate.
And I recommend anyone. But it's so like I was reading it and I was like, "Fuck, I'm like that," because I stretch but I'll try to do it like incognito or whatever. I'll be like walking down the beach and I'll just be like doing a shoulder movement or whatever, but thinking, oh, I hope no one's watching and stuff. But
it's funny though because there's no other it's physical. Surfing's a physical thing.
I know.
And, there's no other physical maybe riding a longboard you probably don't need to do million squat jumps or whatever, but it's still everything's physical. So I think a little bit of get your body move, get your heart rate up, even if it's just jogging down. Don't walk down to the beach, jog.
Yeah,
do something that's gonna raise your heart rate because I think it helps.
It does help. I do agree because I find
it's kooky, but I don't care that I like a kook.
Yeah, I find
I like doing it.
Yeah. Also, to add on to your point is even do it when the waves are shitty because
100%. That's when you get injured more.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I've tweaked a few things and I'll be like, how have I managed to do this when it's knee high? And I'm like, well, I didn't stretch and I didn't warm up or anything. So
I still judge other people when they do it. I still laugh at people doing their weird runs, but I do a weird one too, so it's fine to do both.
I like it. What about don't?
Don't. Let me think. Don't. It's pretty obvious one. Don't run over people's surfboards. Look where you're driving. Just the day of my heat at Boardmasters just now, board run over. Guy ran over my board in his car, not on the sea, in his car, fuming. So don't leave your boards on the road out on by the in the car park either, in a silly place. Mine wasn't in a silly place, but don't run over people's boards.
Yours is in a sensible place.
It was in a sensible place. It was right next to my car, so it was literally I just put my boards down, get my bag on to walk to the contest area to go warm up. In the back of my van, it's right next to my van. It wasn't in a parking space or anything.
Yeah.
And this guy just flew reverse, and it was 7 a.m. Must have been tired. Crunched my my fin box.
What did he do?
I ran after him. He drove off. I ran after him. I said,
"Oh, did he just drove off?"
Yeah, I don't think he realised he did it, but Pat was right next to him, and he was like, "Yeah, he definitely realised he did it." He driving off.
You don't run over a surfboard and go.
Literally, I made a huge crack. I was running after him. I was like, "Bye!" I lost my head of it. I was like, "This is the board I was going to use." So it's all good. It's all repaired. I think he said he'll pay for the repair. So
decent.
That's all right. He was a good person, but Look where you're going if you're in a car park that's by the beach.
Fair, okay, yeah. No.
Have you had that? Have you had anything like that happen?
Not to me personally, but one of my mate Rich, who works for us at Board Shop, he had I think he had a very, very close experience. He had a brand new board and he took it and put it next to a parking space and had a very, very, very close
encounter.
Just got away with it. But yeah, and that's just a nightmare for me. I never do it. I just
don't want to think. The other thing is, don't leave your board. You ever left a board at the beach?
No, Darren has. Darren does it all the time.
I've done it twice, but I live a 45-minute drive from the beach.
Yeah, so I don't get it.
No, but it's because you put it down, change freezing cold, jump in the car, and it's out of sight.
Yeah.
And you just close, especially in a van, you just assume it's in, you just drive it off. You're like, turn on the board.
I think for me, because I've got a car and my car's kind of small, and generally wherever I surf, it's windy, and generally I'll look after my board.
You can't put it down.
Yeah, I just boot up straight in the car.
Yeah,
because it's been done. So, but Darren's left. I think he was like, "Oh, this one time. It's probably the 4th time it's happened now." And I'm like, "How have you managed to do it 4 times?"
You think you'd learn after I've learned after the 2nd, but
he's at the beach quite a lot. So yeah, no, I haven't done that, but that's and the other one I hear of all the time is, I didn't attach my board to the roof rack properly and it came off.
mental behavior. Just don't use roof racks. That's a don't. Do not use roof racks. Put it in your car.
I avoid them at all costs.
Hate them.
I would rather squash all my boards inside and if I'm driving with someone else in the car, I'm like, right, you can just sit behind me and be uncomfortable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because as much as they're rubbish to have on your car because they're annoying, they inside because you've got them so tight, they make some humming noise. So you got a 4 hour drive
Yeah.
with this strap that's in the way of your
Yeah.
head, and it's just like
Nah, not a fan of reflex.
there was a time I was coming back. There's four of us in my. I've got a Ford Fiesta, and there was
Mhm.
four of us in it, four boards on the roof racks, and it just started hammering down with rain, and it where it loops comes through the window, I was just getting soaking wet as well.
Yeah,
And
we
I
never.
I
They're not
think
good for your boards either, are they?
nah, I think that's the last time I used them. I think that was what broke me. I was just like, I'm never using roof racks again if I have to.
When we go on trips, we just book two cars. Just if there's four of
Yeah,
you, well, I know I'd rather spend another 200 quid to mount my boards flying on the roof. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
So just have an
Nah,
extra car.
roof racks aren't the one. But no, there's a good couple of do's and don'ts in there because sometimes it
Sorry,
really
gave a few.
yeah no it's good because sometimes they're just so hard to, like you're like you see things and then you come to like record this and we're like oh yeah me and Darren in a normal conversation probably sit there and just reel off like 10 things like oh I saw this idiot do this or this or this and then come to say it and like mind blank so it's good to
You
get
know
across.
on the Stab podcast they do like the surf sins.
Yeah
I need to write in. I've got a sin, and
really
yeah, I got a sin, and I haven't read. It's basically what you just said. Like I work at a surf school. I see people doing things wrong all the time. Like all I see is people doing stuff wrong. Like seen two people in the last month, no wax on their board. You know, like when someone's bought like
yeah
an old shortboard, no wax, they're completely glossy. Seen them walking in, didn't tell them. I was just like, oh, I don't have the heart to like people with their wetsuits on inside out, back to front. I just don't. I just let them go on. I let the universe
You need
solve it
to.
for them.
You need to
But that is
definitely
a
submit
sin.
it.
I think that's a sin because I should be telling them. So do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
bad.
there was there was one. I I was in a similar position on Sunday at the Wave. I was completely perplexed by this guy, and he was a nice guy. I actually had a chat with him, and I still didn't. He had
Didn't
a
tell them.
he had a he had a brand new Sharp Eye Inferno 72, black with the
Oh,
white rails, right?
yeah, and then
And like I was just looking at his board thinking it's going to delam any second in this heat. But
oh,
he
of course.
but he was covering it and stuff with his towel, and I was like, fair play. And he kept putting it under the shower while he was rating. I was like, good. And then he flipped it over, and he had a tail pad and a front pad, but no wax.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
all I could think to myself is, do you know what? At the wave pool, that's okay
Yeah,
because you're not duck diving. But all I can imagine
true.
is a proper duck dive, yeah, and just a
Yeah.
headbutt in your board or something. And
Yeah.
all I wanted to say to him was, "Do you want to borrow some wax?"
It,
Like,
do you know a gripe of mine is people who don't wax in front of their deck. You know, the people who
yeah,
leave us.
yeah,
I did it for a
yeah,
bit because I thought it was cool because I saw other people doing it. Just wax your whole board. Doesn't add any
yeah.
weight. What if you're like you magically get the tubular life and you move your foot forward to go faster and you slip? Like
I know.
that, I just don't get that either. That's just stupid.
It was yeah. So I do get your like semi-surf confession there because especially when I go to places like there was a I was somewhere with my missus. I can't remember where we was, and this guy had this really nice custom board, and I was looking at it, and I was like, well, that's 850 quid. And then all I could see was that it put his leash string on long. So
Oh,
I was like, he's just gonna
savage.
he's just gonna cheese grate it straight through the end of it at one day. And I was like, I was sitting with my missus, and I was like, I need to tell him, and she's like, no, leave him. And I'm like,
Leave him be.
I'm like, but the right thing to do is to tell him. And she's like, no, you sound like
He'll learn on
a
his own.
yeah. Her words were more like, you sound like a knob. And I was like, oh.
That's the worry I get. Like I don't want us to come out like person the other day, leash around their wrist on a surfboard.
Ah,
Didn't tell him. Just didn't tell him. I just let him be. I thought, but I should tell him because it can rip their arm off. But you
yeah.
know what I mean?
Here we
It's just
go.
loads of
See,
stuff like that.
this is the confession that I kind of wanted to write into Stab, but it wasn't for me. But
Yeah.
so working at board shop, we had this guy. He doesn't work for us anymore, but he's good. He's a good lad. He was a young guy,
Mm.
and I understand his position. So he wanted to come across like he seemed he knew what he's doing. But
Mm.
he avoided coming surfing with us, like in the ocean for
Yeah.
months. Every time there was surf, he had something on or whatever, and we was just like, oh, okay, like maybe he's just not that as keen or whatever. And then he went to the wave, and then he sent us some photos of his session at the wave. And bless him, because he must have been like proud. But his leash was on the wrong leg, right? And that's all I could see. And then he came into work on the Monday, and one of the directors was just like, "Oh, like, is that on purpose that you put it on your wrong leg?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then he
Let's
went,
drag.
yeah, and then he went back 2 weeks later, and it was on the other leg. So obviously he'd corrected his thing, and he'd corrected himself, but he didn't own it, and because he didn't own it, we was all just like, "Oh no!" Like he just clearly
Yeah.
picked it up. And so I wanted to write in to Stab and be like, well, it's not a surf sin on my own, but this kid sinned by not just saying, oh shit, what an idiot,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah. Too much pride. Too much pride.
But that was a good one because he was like, oh yeah, I do it on purpose. It's just how I've always done it, and then changed it. It was like,
That's so savage, right?
but,
He went home, watched a load of videos on it, and was like,
yeah,
"Oh god!" Everyone at this surf shop I work at just fucking knows
yeah.
nothing on it.
But that was the other. That's another don't that I always forget. So I'm going to say it now, and then I could just repeat it. Is pick your leash up. Like, don't
Yeah.
drag your leash.
Oh my god, mate. Yeah, it's like for some people don't realize, like, if you get in trouble. My boss says this a lot. Especially beginner surfers who are the ones who are doing it.
Yeah,
That's your one thing keeping you to like your flotation device.
yeah,
It's the most important part of your board. It's the most important part of your board. You like you could get in a really bad situation without a leash. So and you could put other people in danger with a leash. So if you're dragging it through the muck, it just shows you don't care. To me,
yeah,
it's just showing me that you don't care about me, you don't care about yourself, don't care about your board. It's just like bad etiquette, in
yeah.
my opinion.
It just
A good one.
other than how bad it is for everything else, all I can see is a semi-damp leash getting really sandy. Yeah, and I just want to scream at people, pick it up.
Yeah, just
But
pick your leash up for sure. That's a
freaks.
good one.
But well, mate, well, I won't take up too much more of your time. I think we'll wrap that there.
Go
But
for it. No
you
worries.
are basically the savior of the podcast for this week.
The angel.
So when he's not, I don't know if he's in France next week because Darren's going on a little trip. But
Oh yeah.
if you do end up at Hospital Way, pop into his pie shop and
Oh, for sure, mate. Yeah.
and stuff, and then we'll have to sort you out a bar of wax or something for saving the poddy. But
Ah, no worries, man.
yeah, we'll
My
chat soon
pleasure.
anyway, and yeah, we'll see what comes of Chopes.
For sure. Can't wait. I'm actually looking forward to the event, especially now I've
Yeah,
looked at some of the heats. There's some juicy ones in there, so it'll be
yeah,
good.
that's it. Inspo for
Frothing.
France.
Yeah, it's good. It should be pumping. So I'm frothing.
Yeah, legend.
No,
Thanks, Logan. Really appreciate it, mate.
no worries, bro. Anytime, honestly, just let me know. And
Yeah.
if I can be of any help getting other people on, just if you ever bored of Darren's voice.
Welcome back to the Insiders podcast. We're back with you again. My name's Matt, usually here with Darren. Darren should have been on this poddy, and we've got a little disaster story to tell you about before we jump into what we've called the podcast saved by a CT surfer. Myself and Darren were sat down Monday night ready to talk about Chopu when he was hit with technical difficulties and basically sounded like he got attacked by a robot. Due to that, our podcast got completely written off. So he had some amazing insights and a really good inside story on the reason the French competition got canned, which we will bring to you. But tonight, you're hearing myself chat with Logan Nicol, who is a hero and stepped in last minute. Wealth of knowledge and such a legend. Myself and Logan sat down, and we had a much better connection on the technical side of things. So the podcast sounds a lot better and doesn't sound like Darren's been attacked by a robot. Yeah, it was great to chat with Logan. I had been contacted by a local South Coast company and got to sample some of their t-shirts, Lazy Monday t-shirts, and they're incredible. So I was chatting to Logan about those, and then he said he'd jump on a poddy. That being said, if you do want 10% off of those, give us a shout. The Insiders 10 on their website will work. But yeah, here's me and Logan talking about Chopes, and Darren will be back once the robot has stopped attacking him. Hope you enjoy.